Book post of the day. Legal game from Esquire Jimmy Morris Jr. Let me see if I can pull this up, man. He pretty much was talking about some of the legal stuff that people go through, like alibis and stuff like that. And he was saying, like, it has to be believable, your alibi, or it's not gonna work. No matter how good you think it sounds, you have to convince a jury about your alibis and stuff like that.
If you ever been sitting in court, man, the prosecutor is gonna make what he said you did. He gonna have a whole story and a whole scenario about what it's not even true. But what he said you did, by the time you listen to the prosecutor, was like, maybe I did.
Boy,
some of them
he gonna sell that dream for real. And you better have a good lawyer. The crazy thing is, you could pay for a lawyer, and it still may not be believable. All he can do is give you the best chance to win.
With the tools of the law.
All right, let me share the screen.
They be having your family looking at you like, man, I think he did it.
Boy. Watch a little bit of this, because I'm going to skip around to it.
So that it wasn't in possession of the person. So that it wasn't in possession. 20th Habanas Festival. Today I want to discuss Saudi defense and affidavits. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. The hell is a Saudi defense?
And this dude's in Little Rock too. This ain't no guy that's out of town. This actually dude in Little Rock.
Hell is a Saudi defense?
Lawyer. I think he's a criminal defense lawyer.
Saudi defense is when you say, basically, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Some other dude did it. I didn't do it. Some other dude did it. And
how he's able to
most
drink
people
that
would think, okay,
not,
when does that happen?
And not Grimmins, he cold blooded.
When does that happen? Well, oftentimes
I'm gonna get right to
for a person. Man, look, I got hit with a gun, but this guy, there's he willing to fill out an affidavit. An affidavit should get me out of it. Well, an affidavit is only as good as the believability of it.
Man.
What do I mean by that? If you go to a gun store, and I've been to gun stores a lot, and I'm an avid gun enthusiast, and they have signs up that says, don't do a straw purchase for a person. If you do a straw purchase for a person, what happens is you end up buying it because you don't have anything on your background, and you hand it to someone who is a felon or can't purchase a gun because they have a protective order or whatnot. Now, you've done a straw purchase for this person. If they find the gun in that person's car, well, the obvious thing that would be said is, well, I left it in there. So that it wasn't in possession of the person that was driving.
Man, you know how many times dude probably had to deal with these scenarios as a criminal defense lawyer, man? I can't even imagine like how many times this has happened, man. Somebody comes by, I need you to get me out this jam, man. There was a gun in the car, it wasn't mine. I wonder how many people that came to him and they really didn't have a chance. And he said, I can give you a shot. I can't guarantee you're going to win, but I can give you the best shot in the world. But it's going to cost you $7,500 or so, whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Was driving the car.
I can't hear you, Jay. I can't hear you.
A lot of it is getting your years down.
Yeah.
But some people gonna get the max.
Yeah, he talked about that too.
If they don't get you from murder 1, he can get you don't do this in time, but he can get it down to manslaughter. A lawyer can do that. You can't. A public defender can't. Yeah, you shot somebody, you gonna do that time. But getting it down from murder 1 or capital murder to manslaughter, man, is a miracle in itself.
Boy,
you know what I mean?
It's a world of difference.
Doing 2 years instead of 10 is a world of difference. Yeah, like a lot of people don't think they gonna. I hired a lawyer. I'm gonna get out untouched. Like you did something, they gonna touch you.
They gonna touch
the car. However, they possessed it, but it wasn't in there from the sake of being their firearm. Okay, so now all the paperwork links back to you, and it's not illegal for you to have a gun, kind of but it is illegal for them to have a gun. So oftentimes they want you to do an affidavit, and this affidavit they think is going to absolve them.
Oh, no.
Well, the prosecutor's seen this 100 times. He may not believe your affidavit. He may not believe that your brother, cousin left it in the car. Now, it may be more believable if it was your mother and it was your mother's car and you rarely drive that car and you just hopped in that car for a time period. But if it's a car you drive on a regular basis, then that's going to be very hard to prove. So a Saudi defense has to be a believable defense in that it has to be something that you can either sell the jury or sell the prosecutor. All right. Now, if it's your first time in possession of a firearm, it's easier to sell it than if it is the second time. Second time, it looks like this is a pattern that you've established. Now, the other thing that becomes problematic is this. Possession of guns and firearms. Guns and drugs.
Boy.
Firearms and drugs.
Young kids, please learn this. Hear this.
Let's say, for instance, you have a gun. You have it a legally registered firearm to yourself, and there's no registration process other than FLL buying it in Arkansas. But you have this gun that you have the ability to have it, and you have a concealed carry permit. And your friend jumps in your car, and in his backpack, he has a kilo of cocaine.
Please hear these young people that's in the inner city.
Even though both of you all have separate reasons for having what you have, and may not know what the other one has. Mm-hmm. If you are pulled over and searched, both of you can be charged with simultaneous possession of drugs and firearms.
That's what you don't want.
So it does not help that you say, well, I didn't know he had a gun and I didn't know he had a kilo of cocaine. That doesn't help you very much. So an affidavit of someone saying, well, I had a legally registered gun that I left in the car, this guy didn't know about it, generally doesn't absolve you from what we call the simultaneous possession. So a Saudi defense is only as believable as the facts in the case, okay? I can tell you that I go to gun shows all the time, and I see people who can for having the drugs. Now the theory would be that she was in the car, she is uphill battle because you have someone who was not, okay? So I want you to keep these things in mind when you're talking about, well, I didn't do anything, I was just there. There are clear she knew nothing that was going on in it. So the question becomes, how do you connect her from a joint possession issue for having the drugs? Now the theory would be that she was in the car, she gets the same thing as everybody else under joint possession theory, in which my client was the girlfriend of a drug dealer.
That's the last point that I'm going to
and she benefited from being a girlfriend of a drug dealer.
You girls don't want to date drug
money,
kingpin,
luxury, fine, fancy cars, furs, all that. When the feds finally came in and busted him, you would think, oh, I didn't do anything, I'm going to get away with it. Nope, they arrested her too.
Yep.
And they charged her with misprision of a felony. Meaning she was around and she utilized the proceeds and the lifestyle of this drug dealer without telling on him, so therefore she got charged as well. There was one more case that I want to tell you is this.
Yeah, this is the last one.
There was a housekeeper, and the housekeeper was cleaning up this gentleman's house. She didn't know anything about his business. She didn't know what he did for a living. All she knew is he paid well and he was a good tipper.
Wow.
So guess what? She was excited and she would do what he asked. So she, in cleaning up the house, he calls her and he says, hey, can you go get that package that's on my bed? Somebody's gonna come and ring the door, and all you gotta do is hand it to her. She does not know what's in the package. She doesn't know anything about his business. She knows nothing.
Yep.
She hands the package over. They arrest her for delivery of controlled substance.
Yep.
Okay? So I want you to keep these things in mind when you're talking about,
man, you hear these
well, I
scenarios?
didn't do anything, I was just there. There are several felonies that are related to just being there, or several felonies
man, he
that
said,
you can do unknowingly
just by
or
knowing
unwillingly.
and not saying nothing, they could charge you for it.
So just be careful of those things. But as it relates to Saudi, let's go back to Saudi.
Let me stop, man. But man, shout out to Jimmy Morris, man. I thought this was pretty interesting. I think a lot of people need to hear that kind of stuff, because that's what a lot of people say. I didn't know. They think they get you out of trouble. I didn't know. Man, that don't get you out of trouble, man. Sometimes that only make things worse for you because you did know. Well, they gonna say, well, you did know, you should have known. But let me give you something to help you out. Man, he said that a cleaning lady was just there cleaning the house, and he said, give somebody that package for me. And she just go in there and grab the package.
Man, if a jury convicted her, that's sad. I understand
they can do it though.
They can.
You just hear this dude saying you don't know would not get you out of nothing because you didn't know.
No. I mean, I understand. I understand the law. You know what I mean? But if she probably play it down. But if a jury convicted her of that, that's crazy.
Man, it's crazy. But
you gotta be convicted by the jury of your peers. 12 of them.
The thing is, to try not to even get in these situations. Why do you want me to get a package for? Why do you want me to get a package for? That's weird. Like, what does that got to do with me cleaning your house? That ain't got nothing to do with me cleaning your house. Dude, he said, if you in the car, you got a registered firearm, you legal, and your homeboy get in the car and he got a key in his backpack, y'all get caught. They charging both of y'all with simultaneous possession.
Yeah.
Whether you knew or not. Man, I didn't know he had that in his backpack. Well, you finna get charged with it too. So that said, what does that say? You need to know what people got on them when they get in your car. If you're not sure, you need to ask them, hey, what's in that backpack? Man, you get out of my business, man. Well, don't even get in the car. Holler at you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll holler at you, man.